I want to, in a second, go to the actual vaccination process and some of the centers in the US. But we also have this huge spat in Europe between AstraZeneca and the Commission. Is this the ugly side of vaccine access? Is it, vaccine nationalism at its worst?
Yeah, certainly we have seen, countries, the haves versus the have-nots in this circumstance, where many countries and governments have pre-ordered massively large schedules of vaccine, and companies have now struggled both in the UK and the US and around the world to deliver on those promises. I think that what we need to recognize is that everyone needs the vaccine, and governments are under extreme amounts of pressure to deliver on promises. It looks like we are having, questions in the United States about the Defense Production Act, for example, and some debates in and of ourselves as to whether or not that could actually ramp up manufacturing. It does not appear that it would be the case. So everyone is going, how can we get more shots in arms as quickly as possible?
Jason, where are we in the U.S.? If you look at state by state, are we going to see a much more cohesive approach coming from the federal government?
Well, I certainly think there have been great promises about the federalization of the response, certainly increased amounts of vaccine going to states, the potential use of National Guard at the state level. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Association, is certainly been activated. I think each of these steps along the process of the chain of supply and of distribution and administration are going to be essential and to ramp up and accelerate vaccine. But states can only go as fast as the supply that they receive.
What's the state of the U.S. right now? Do people want to get vaccinated? What's your next? Do you have enough doses to vaccinate?
Certainly do not have enough doses to vaccinate the entire U.S. population. In terms of who wants to get vaccinated, we're already seeing disparities emerge. We will see, our hardest hit communities are people of color, so Black and brown people, but yet we're seeing that the majority of vaccines are going to Caucasians or white people. So we're really seeing this disparity that has emerged, and that's driven in multitudes by both the access points to the vaccine, as well as the cadre of people who've been determined to receive the vaccine. And then the third point here is that we've got a considerable amount of vaccine hesitancy, meaning that people actually are afraid of how quickly the vaccine was developed and want to basically wait and see how others respond to the vaccine before they themselves stand in line.
What is the one thing that, we should change, if anything? So in the UK, it's been a politics of the government that you need the first dose, and then actually we can delay giving the second dose. Should the US go the same way?
Well, certainly we have a window of opportunity between dose 1 and dose 2. It's not you go beyond for Pfizer 25 days and suddenly the vaccine is no longer efficacious. The problem with extending between dose 1 and dose 2 is that we've seen absolutely infections in the studies between dose 1 and dose 2. So when you add in the circulating strains in the UK that are very concerning with the various variants, looking at South Africa and Brazil, the longer we wait between doses, the more that we have the potential for someone getting exposed to a variant that then puts pressure on that variant to further evolve. So really, it's about how expediently we can get dose 1 and dose 2 as quickly and appropriately timed as possible.
And Jason, if the developing world doesn't get vaccinated at the same time, does it multiply the danger of new variants?
Well, certainly what we're seeing with the data, particularly coming out of the UK this week, is that not only is greater transmissibility in greater numbers of transmissions equal to greater hospitalizations, of course, but that also allows more circulating virus to potentially grow and evolve. And so what we really need to do is figure out a way to, at a global level, stop the spread of this virus. Otherwise, as new variants pop up, it certainly places the current vaccines at risk of the potential loss of their efficacy.